I'm so Atlantis. 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 I'm so Atlantis.
Once again, black people are claiming another heritage. Black people are now the original Jews. Black people are the original Native Americans. Black people are the Anunnaki. And now, according to people from Atlanta, black people are the original Atlanteans. Bro, y'all are everything but African. Y'all willing to claim all this other stuff, but y'all refuse to claim y'all African heritage. That shit crazy. And I need y'all to do some research geographically and look at all the continents that borders the Atlantic Ocean and look what type of towns, cities, acropolises are bordering that and see what's the name of those places. Come back.
Hi lovelies and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you're welcome to Building the Verse. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. Alright lovelies, let's dive into today's video.
I figured it out. The reason the Migos was always saying drip, drop, splash, it's 'cause they're from Atlantis. Atlanta is Atlantis. Gunna said, drip or drown. Why do you think he said that? Even Thug, he was surf, surf, surf. I would never, myself, never. Hope this video gets where it needs to go.
Atlanta is Atlantis, and I'll tell you why. Because Atlanta kind of sounds like Atlantis, and that's sound logic. I just thought you'd want to know this.
I'm so Atlantis. 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 I'm so Atlantis.
So the mental health crisis in Atlanta is insane right now. These people believe because Atlanta is called Atlanta and it's very close to Atlantis, they believe that they can summon a portal to bring back Atlantis or to recover Atlantis. So a large group of people, a cult, went up to a mountain in Atlanta and tried to open a portal by chanting the same things at the sky in efforts to get Atlantis to come back down, or whatever the case may be. Now, people will do anything but praise the Lord, bro. Like, it's absolutely insane to me. This is literally just giving me like that Forex vibe. I don't know if y'all remember Forex, but they used to get together and promise people millions of dollars, and they used to chant the same things and be in these weird meeting rooms, and a cult. People who are really believing this are truly deceived. And the Bible says in the last days, those people in the last days will seek to have their ears itch, that they are turning to false doctrine and doctrines of demons. And this is what we're seeing. Also, if you truly believe Atlanta is Atlantis, shouldn't you go in the water? Why are you trying to go? But then you're going to have people comment on this video saying, as above, so below, and all these different things. Like, I get the conspiracy theories. I get it all. I get it. But this is next level crazy. Don't care what nobody says. This is next level crazy. Also, all these people who be trying to like do these like crazy spiritual things, why don't I ever see it work? Like everybody be like, oh, we can do this. You're so powerful. You're so this. You're so that. We're such crazy human beings. We're so powerful. And they can't do anything.
Question, would you rather be having a big dick or be king of Atlantis?
Sir, they're saying Atlanta and Atlantis is the same.
Bro, they can't, what the fuck? Atlanta can't come down here, nigga. They gonna die. What the fuck? Up there ain't Atlantis. What the fuck is, what are they talking about, bro?
The humans are claiming that they're...
Bro, let me do my job. I'm holding this city. I'm the king, my nigga. Let me do my job. They can't come down here. What the fuck? We are not, bro. How Atlanta and Atlantis getting confused with each other, my nigga? They can't come down here. They can't breathe down here. I hope they know that. What are they talking about? You know what?
This nigga Neymar was right, bro.
What if I were to tell you that Atlantis is actually biblical? Just not in the way that you think. And before y'all go screaming blasphemy, let me explain. You guys may know me from my other channel that just got banned at 190K because y'all know we speak too much truth. But on that channel, we have been delving into the book of Enoch, cross-checking it with the Bible, and learning heavenly history so that we can further understand the current events that are happening now, such as the giant sightings, the strange things in the ocean, and current events such as Congress literally saying that aliens come from the ocean. But they're late to the party because we already knew that, right? Anyway, I digress. The book of Enoch goes into great detail about the Nephilim and the fallen angels. If you're not familiar, basically a third of the angels rebelled against God and came down and procreated with mortal women, which created a ravenous species of giants that consumed all of humans' resources. And when they were done with that, they started to move on to humans, Attack on Titan style. When the humans weren't enough, they started to eat each other. The whole time, the fallen angels are mixing DNA, making humanoid creatures, aka the Egyptian gods, but that's a whole other video, and painting themselves as gods to humanity. Y'all have to understand that the civilization they built here on Earth greatly surpassed knowledge that we could ever understand, therefore creating the city of Atlantis. And I only say that it's Atlantis because of something called the mud flood theory. The mud flood theory is basically a term that came from archaeologists, and they started to discover artifacts and buildings that they could not explain, as well as doors and secret rooms built under the ground level of many important buildings that we know of today, such as things like ancient cathedrals. They came to the conclusion that an advanced civilization is basically underwater at this point and existed thousands of years ago. But us Christians, we know that the flood that they're talking about is the flood that God sent to fix the mess that was Earth at that time. So yes, Atlantis is biblical, but again, just not the way you think. As always, make sure you like and follow and comment down below if you want a part 2.
You have no idea how funny it is to be from some mountain and then see a bunch of niggas in a cult climb the mountain and then chant, Atlanta is Atlantis. That shit had me crying, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Mind you, they recorded that video in the afternoon during working hours. None of them niggas got jobs. Ain't that nigga out there got a job, twin, I swear to God. They all unemployed for real. So let's get that straight first of all. Second of all, it's just like, why do y'all come to my city to do this shit? Like, what is there something in the air? Like, is there something in the water, nigga? Is it our sewer system? What's going on? What is going on? Y'all choose my city every time to do some fuck shit every time. Like, what is on top of Stone Mountain not get y'all like this? I don't understand. Oh my God, bro. That like had me actually cracking the fuck up. I'm gonna show that shit to my grandpa when I visit him like on Friday. Yeah.
I just saw a video of a group of people that climbed to the top of a mountain in Atlanta to chant Atlanta is Atlantis because the word Atlantis sounds like Atlantis in an attempt to open a portal. This is all real. Go Google. I gotta look this up, please. To open a portal. Okay, I'm back. But that situation is so interesting to me because I have been like doing my own personal research and deep dive on the human need and craving for connection. It's been something that I have been studying for like probably the past 2 weeks. And I have been like high and low, scanning articles, looking at videos about it because I find it to be super intriguing. Okay, and I'm gonna break down why. So there are some psychologists who say that isolation hits the brain the same way starvation and dehydration does. Do y'all understand this? Starvation and dehydration come from what? Two of the basic needs that we as humans need to survive: water and food. Human connection needs to be one of those because if isolation hits the brain that same way, there's a drought and it causes people to go insane. It causes people to go crazy. That's why solitary confinement in prisons are used as one of the harshest punishments because you are being locked 4 white walls in a box for days, for months at a time as a punishment. It's to drive you nuts. And why does it work so well or not well? It depends on the person because it strips away one of the main things humans can't live without, and that's community, belonging. And I think that's why when people don't feel connected, they go to the extreme side of the spectrum. That's how we see cults. That's how we see some people in MAGA. That's how we see some sororities and fraternities. Not all. That's how we see people in the mega churches. Like, I feel like it pushes people to the extreme when there's a lack. And one of the things I've been deep diving into is social media. I think social media is the biggest example of this today. the likes, the shares, the followers, the comments. These are all micro doses that we are getting on a daily basis of connection. Whether it's just somebody liking a comment, liking your video. These are micro doses that we are getting every single day, which is causing us to be addicted to TikTok. And I'm talking about myself as well. We are doom scrolling on here on a daily basis because of this like dopamine of connection. And I think that's why when we see influencers or people who never really got much attention growing up, may have not been as popular in middle school and high school, then they grow up and they have one video that goes viral and they get a bunch of followers and likes. I think that's why we start to see them go crazy. Because their brains think that they tapped into this unlimited supply of validation, and like the egos start to get bigger. I know y'all have seen this. It's like, but this video is getting way too long. I'm going on a tangent because this is something I've been super interested in the past few weeks. And I would pay for Jubilee or some type of platform like that to do a roundtable with psychologists, psychiatrists, prisoners, prison wardens, influencers, people who were in cults in the past, people who are currently in cults. I need this to be like a docuseries. I need this to be a docuseries that is like 8 episodes, an hour and 30 minutes each. And we have questions and we are breaking down human connection with facts, with actual materials, with personal experiences. Like, I pay for that. Maybe I need to direct it on my own. If you're a producer, hit me up, because I've been like hyper fixated on this topic for a minute.
Atlanta is Atlantis. 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 Atlanta is Atlantis.
FBA. What is this? Y'all got some explaining to do. What do you mean Atlanta is Atlantis? What do you mean by that? Y'all want to claim Atlantis? Bro, the fear of being African. The fear of being African. At this point, it's a disease. What do you mean Atlanta is Atlantis? Somebody gotta come out and stop this before it gets ridiculous. Y'all got people going outside to chant Atlanta is Atlantis. Atlanta is Atlantis. Yee! Brother, your community got a problem. This is not normal. And someone got to do something about it. That right there is the reason why we don't take y'all seriously. Now, y'all want to claim Atlantis. Y'all talking about y'all from Atlantis. A mythological place in Europe. How can more than 10 people agree that black people are from Atlantis? How? And do y'all know what's the funny part about this? I actually found a black American who was literally talking about this with passion, literally claiming that black Americans are from Atlantis.
Atlanta, current day Atlanta, was built over the capital of Atlantis.
Bro, it's getting ridiculous out here. Y'all need to get your community together.
I've been told y'all that Atlantis existed, just not as what you think. Guys, please understand that everything you see in the movies, it's got some kind of truth to it. They want you to believe that Atlantis is some underwater civilization. That is not the case. I'm gonna tell y'all what Atlantis was. Atlantis was right here on land, pre-flood, pre-Noah's flood. And let me explain to you why. Every time you hear Atlantis, you hear the Tartarian theory, you hear the mud flood theory, all these theories. Sorry to interrupt the tea, guys. Make sure that you follow my Instagram. I'm gonna be leaving TikTok if they keep on threatening to ban it. So make sure y'all go follow me on here so we can build this platform over there. Don't forget, do it now. It's basically about a civilization gaining too much knowledge, and therefore for some reason it was wiped out. Atlantis is described as some ancient, advanced, lost civilization. It's lost, alright, just not the way you think. Remember, y'all, we're going to be talking about the Book of Enoch. And this isn't just in the Book of Enoch. By the way, I read the Book of Enoch as history or lore, not scripture. But this is not just in there, it's also in the Bible. In Genesis, the very first book of the Bible, it talks about how angels procreated with the mortal women, creating Nephilim, the giant. And from there, God ended up having to send the flood. Now, the Book of Enoch dives deeper into that, talking about like what happened on earth while they were here. The Book of Enoch tells us that the fallen angels brought down heavenly knowledge that we weren't supposed to know, such as makeup, how to create weapons of war, how to unalive somebody in a single blow, divination, things like that. It even says that the fallen angels taught us how to read and write. And for me, I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. But if you think about it, bro, remember how God wrote the 10 Commandments with his own hand? Why wouldn't he just have the 10 Commandments just laying there, or have Moses write it? What if God wrote the 10 Commandments with his hand to show dominion over the knowledge that the fallen angels brought down here against his will? Is that crazy or is that crazy? Anyway, back to the subject. If you watch Aquaman 2, right? I wish I could find the clip. You know what? I'm gonna look for it. Yo, I cannot find it. I'm so upset. But basically, it was Aquaman being told the story of Atlantis, or like the ancient civilization, and the narrator was saying how humankind got too cocky. Humankind wanted too much knowledge, and then all of a sudden you see a flood rushing in and it destroys everybody. A flood, bro. Too much knowledge, then a flood, bro. Come on. Yo, at this point, hey, they just keep ripping off the Bible. Y'all, why don't y'all just make a movie about the Bible so we can have, you know, some real biblical tea to watch? Y'all just want to take God's ideas and repurpose them as your own. So yes, I believe that Atlantis was not some underground civilization. I believe that Atlantis was you and me before the flood. And technically, because we're under a firmament and there's waters above and waters below, we technically are underwater. And you know, that wasn't a fart, y'all. That was my arm rubbing against the table, if you heard that. Anyway, y'all, that's just some food for thought. You tell me what you think. That's the way I think about it. I definitely do think that there's a lot going on with the ocean, aka the demonic marine kingdom. But Atlantis, though, trying to make you look all peaches and cream and cookies, no, that's not the case. Anyway, as always, make sure you guys like and follow and comment down below what you think. We are living in the remnants of Atlantis. Hear me out before you think I'm crazy, okay? Y'all have been wanting me to get into this tea, so let's do it. But before we do, make sure you follow my backup account and my YouTube just in case this one gets banned. So I'm sure you guys have heard about the Tartarian theory and the mud flood theory. If you haven't, let me know in the comments. I can get into that as well. But basically, the theory is that there was an advanced civilization long before us that got washed away by a catastrophic event, obviously being the flood of Noah. So now the question is, did Atlantis exist at one point? This is a popular thing in movies and TV shows, and if y'all know anything about me, you know that I fully believe that they put everything in plain sight. There's a reason they call TV television, tell-a-vision. Every idea had to come from somewhere. So the question is, did Atlantis exist? To answer this question, let's open up our handy dandy Bible chat. Shout out to Grace Bible Chat. It is the app that I use for all of my Bible questions. If you want to download it too, the link is in my bio. Did God separate the waters from above and the waters below? You can pause to read the answer. Better yet, let's look at the actual verse in Genesis that says that God did so, and not only that, that there is a firmament. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, plural, and let it divide the waters from above and the waters from below. This is why I wholeheartedly believe that space and the ocean are the same. Have y'all ever seen a rocket actually going through the sky? It literally looks like it's going through water. Have y'all ever seen astronaut suits compared to diver suits? They look exactly the same. When they train for space, they train in the water. Did y'all see that Aquaman movie? I think it was Aquaman 2, where they speak about Atlantis. They speak about how it was a civilization that was far beyond the knowledge of this world, and they got too overzealous and a large body of water washed them away. But they weren't underwater like you think in the sea. They were on land. That large body of water being the flood, and the civilization being when the fallen angels came down and it gave the humans heavenly knowledge they were never supposed to know. Y'all, I believe that Atlantis was very much real, and it mixes into that mud flood theory. Things like the pyramids proves just that. They were built for reasons that we still don't understand today. Monuments and techniques that still cannot be replicated today by our technology. Like, there are so many magical secrets when it comes to the pyramid because it's not of our age. I do believe that Atlantis was technically an underwater city, but not the water that you think. I think that it's a play on words to confuse us, and that the underwater that they mean is the waters above the firmament. As always, make sure you guys like and follow, and let me know in the comments what you think.
Let's talk about this new trending topic that is blowing up online. Apparently, according to some people in Atlanta, black Americans are claiming they are the original Atlanteans. Now hold on, this isn't the first time we have seen something like this. We have seen claims that black people are the original Jews, the original Native Americans, and even tied to the Anunnaki. Honestly, at this point, it's almost like we are a walking history book with every page claiming a new identity. Now I get it, for centuries black people have had their history stolen, rewritten and erased. I understand the desire to reclaim an identity, to find pride in who you are, but here is the problem. In this rush to claim something ancient, something mystical, we are starting to drift away from the most foundational truths, our history, our African heritage. Let's do some geography and history homework. Look at the Atlantic Ocean. Every continent that borders it, North America, South America, Europe, and Africa, has cities, towns, and civilization along the coast. And every single place has a history rooted in humans living like there for centuries, millennia even. Yet somehow the narrative we are being told is that black Americans somehow originate from Atlantis, a city that, let's be honest, exists mostly in myth and speculation. So what is Atlantis and why is it even being connected to black identity? Atlantis is an ancient myth first mentioned by Plato in his writing. Plato described it as a highly advanced civilization that existed thousands of years ago, suddenly beyond the pillars of Halacus, and what we know today as the Straits Gibraltar. Over the centuries, Atlantis has become a cultural symbol, a mystical city of advanced people, sometimes portrayed as a utopia, sometimes as a cautionary tale. But here's the thing, there's literally no historical or archaeological evidence linking Atlantis to Africa, to Europe, or to black Americans specifically. This is pure speculation, and yet in today's social media culture, speculation spreads faster than facts. Memes, threads, TikToks, Instagram posts, they can make something look true just by sheer repetition. Now, claiming Atlantis feels empowering to some because it gives a narrative of black superiority or ancient greatness. But here's my concern. Why chasing Atlantis, we ignore documented real and amazing Africa civilization that actually existed. Kingdoms like Mali, Soha, Kush, Great Zimbabwe, Axiom, Benin, and so many more. They were real. They were advanced. They were built monumental architecture, established trade networks, and influenced global history. Yet, for some reason, those are overlooked in favor of Atlantis immense. And this is where it gets tricky. The trend exposes a deeper issue. Some black Americans have a disconnect from Africa. For many, Africa is portrayed in the media as war, poverty, and feminine. But that is the only a fraction of the story. Africa is not just a place of struggle, it's a place of immense historical, cultural, and scientific achievements. But ignoring Africa, we are turning away from documented evidence of our roots, and instead we are clinging to fantasies. Look, there is nothing wrong with embracing mythology for fun or cultural identity. But when it replaces real history, it becomes a problem. When people argue we are Atlantis, not Africans, it undermines the very real accomplishments of African civilizations. You don't have to imagine Atlantis to feel pride in your heritage. Real African history is mind-blowing. The Great Pyramid of Giza, Timbuktu, Libras, the Nok terracotta sculptures, the complex trading networks of the Swahili coast, these are facts, not memes. So why do these trends keep happening? Why do black Americans keep claiming this other heritage? I think it's a combination of factors. One, cultural erasure. For centuries, black people in Americas were disconnected from their African root due to slavery, colonization, and systemic racism. Without a direct link to ancestors, there is a natural curiosity and desire to claim a grand past. Two, social media amplification. Platforms reward sensationalism, saying we are Atlantis is more clickable than we are descended from Mali and Benin. It spreads faster, goes viral, and creates community discussions, even if the claim is historically inaccurate. 3. Search for pride and empowerment. People want a story where they are the original, the elite, the advanced civilization. There is nothing wrong with wanting that, but it shouldn't overwrite the truth of Africa's rich history. 4. Misinformation and selective history. Many times, these claims are fueled by books, YouTube channels, or online communities that mismeant conspiracy and fact in ways that make it hard for the average person to separate the real from the image. Here is the challenge. Black Americans can celebrate their uniqueness and power without rejecting Africa. We don't have to claim Atlantis, the Anunnaki, or the Native American roots to feel proud. Instead, we can dive deep into the histories of African civilization, rediscover the language, the art, the trade, and the science that we are real. Even sample research can open your eyes. For example, cities along the Atlantic coast of Africa, Lagos, Accra, Dakar, have histories of trade, arts, and innovation that predate most modern Western nations. Or take Timbuktu, once a hub of scholarship with liberals housing tens of thousands of manuscripts. These are not myths, these are variable achievements. Imagine if, instead of arguing over Atlantis, the conversation was Black Americans are reclaiming Mali, Benin, Kush, Great Zimbabwe. That is pride rooted in reality. That is empowerment that can't be debunked. At the end of the day, I understand why some people gravitate toward men like Atlantis. They are entertaining, aspirational, and give a sense of identity. But here is the truth: we are not everything but Africa. That is a dangerous mindset. It distances us from the continent that is the cradle of our species, the place that shaped our DNA, our culture, and our history. Black Americans need to do research, travel if possible, read African history, and engage with African communities. Look at the real cities, the real achievements, the real culture, and only then can you create a narrative that is empowering, accurate, and unshakable. Stop chasing myths, embrace reality. Africa is already legendary. No Atlantis required.
And if you have watched up to this extent, thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. Alright, lovely. See you when I upload the next video.